Hey you guys. So I did a thing. I made that clothing rack and that shelving unit. Tell me I ain't fancy. Tell me I'm not fancy. You can't. I'm fancy now. Anyway, I'm going to get into the details of what all you need to complete this project. It was pretty simple. It took us maybe an hour yesterday. But if you have all the tools you need, you should be good to go. All right, let's get into what we need to complete the project. First things first is this gold spray paint by Rust-Oleum. I like the bright, shiny finish. Next is Rub and Buff. This color is in gold leaf. I prefer the gold leaf color over any of their other gold items. This one just gives a better finish for me. Next is a leveler. You want to make sure the items are on the wall straight. Next is a stud finder. You're going to need this to make sure that you locate the stud to hang the clothing rack on. Screwing it into the stud would allow it to be more secure and you don't have to worry about it falling from the wall. And lastly, a screwdriver. I would say use an electrical one because again, you're screwing into the stud and it's going to give you a lot of power to be able to actually get into the stud. A manual one would probably cause you to use them arm muscles, honey. So electrical stud would probably work best for you. I mean, electrical screwdriver. Okay, now what would this project cost you? I would say less than $100 if you have all of the tools that you need, such as the screwdriver, stud finder, things of that nature. If you're just purchasing the shelf, the rod, the brackets, the gold spray paint, and the rub and buff, I would say your cost would be less than $100 for sure. I'm thinking closer to 85 or 90, but I would say under 100 to be safe. To get the project started, I basically spray painted the brackets first. Actually, I used the rub and buff. It adhered to this one much better than it did to this one, so I actually had to go ahead and spray paint. But after I spray painted, I used the rub and buff. And if you notice, I still have some, I don't know, what do you want to call this, shedding from the paint. What I'm going to do is go back through there with some rub and buff and be able to clear that all out. But just be mindful that if it doesn't adhere, you would more than likely need to spray paint and then apply the rub and buff again. I allowed the brackets to cure overnight, meaning to let it dry. And once those were complete, then we were able to start the project. All right, to start the project, we screwed one bracket into the wall, made sure it was in a stud, and then we moved over by using the leveler and then screwing the other bracket in to make sure that it was also in a stud. And that was basically it. We repeated the process for the second shelf, second brackets, and then we added the shelves. I have not secured the shelves as of yet. I'm thinking you can just use some glue to adhere it, but it's sitting up there secure. It's not gonna move. So I may not even add the glue to it just to keep it in a state of newness, I guess. And then with the rod, once we hung this, of course, you can't just add the rod here. We basically just slid the rod through in from one end to the other. Another thing I wanted to say about this, the bracket I got was, this is 1 inch, is what the measurement said. And this also said that it was 1 inch. If you notice that there's a gap in between, I feel like I want to go up to 1.5 inch in the rod. And then I think it would be just a little bit, it would have a much better fit that I guess I would prefer. But again, the 1 inch works fine. It's up to you on what you like, but I feel like I'm gonna add another 1.5 inch rod to be able to get the look that I'm going for. All right, all in all, I would say the project took us maybe an hour to complete. The toughest part of it all was basically locating the stud. There are tons of videos on YouTube that tells you how to use a stud finder. I found one where the video was maybe less than 2 minutes. And I was able to use the stud finder after that, located the studs, and then go ahead and place the brackets in there. So happy project making. if that's a thing. So yeah, I'm absolutely in love with the way it turned out. Again, I hope you guys have fun doing the project. All right, you guys, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, of course, leave those in the comments. I'm going to link all the items for you, but I am absolutely in love with the shelving in this clothing rack. Like, it just says next level. Like, you made it. Like, girl, look at you building shit. Just too cute.